Welcome back to Prototype, where at the moment, all we need to do is head to another marker so that someone can tell Alex what the hell to do in a real but thou must style. Ooh, landmark with a couch. Okay, maybe things are looking up as we get railroaded into our next task. Okay, I'm not allowed in with a couch. Damn it. Well, I deserve that. I'll just go up here, change forms. I'm innocent once more. And that couch of temptation is out of my sight. Let's begin.
We know a few things about the outbreak. There are two genetic strains at work. I need samples from both types to be able to treat it. First, you're going to have to locate samples from infected water towers, and then collect samples from a full-blown hive. The water towers are prevalent in these areas. Get there, destroy them, and collect the material. Then head uptown and get the material from the hive.
Whatever's happening here, this is only the beginning.
Good addition there, Alex, but we're still going to obey every word of our ex. This is kind of a recurring problem with games written by Paul Jenkins. Specifically, The Darkness did this to an extreme fault. Jackie Estacado had no agency as a character. Just did what other people told him to do. And declared himself the hero in between acts of doing so. I did recently realize that Paul Jenkins also wrote on, not exclusively, but he worked on, the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver, and I believe the sequel as well, which is another game I recently played through. So I do consistently enjoy his work. It just has its recurring flaws. Now we're surprised to find infected water towers that we were told to go destroy. They're full of monsters. Our water supply is coming alive and fighting us. We're gonna need claws. Take this thing out before it explodes. Now we remember collecting these gold orbs from one of the hives that I attacked earlier. But it didn't do anything. Now they are plot MacGuffins. I have no idea if they do anything in between missions. Please stop bothering me. I have business to attend to. It is helping to save your life. Oh, non-lethal AC unit. What else we got? Can't pick up water towers. Destroying infected water towers is going to become sort of a collectible slash minigame thing. Like blowing up hives. I remember that actually showing up even earlier than now. Oh, that was a fantastic shot. We hit that thing. Yeah, it is holding an AC unit on its blades, but not crashing. That is some impressive workmanship on those blades, which are normally very delicate. This one hatched. You don't kill it fast enough before the entire thing turns red. You get a skinless ape that you have to fight. You can also hug him and break his neck, steal his blood and bones. So the claws have been pretty effective. But we can, in the middle of a mission, purchase a new upgrade. Hammer Fists. Our second weapon type. For the hell of it, I'll also get a shield. Shield is one of my least favorite power-ups in this entire game. But I might as well have it to show it off. It's weird that the claws are a plot relevant acquisition. You get them from eating your first hunter. But then after that, they don't really make you kill stuff to get your new attack types. You buy them straight out of the menu unceremoniously. This is also a very important thing. Our first Devastator. They don't show you anywhere on the menu what you need to buy in order to get your first Devastator. I always found this incredibly frustrating. I went like half the game the first time I played it with no Devastators. Because I was saving up for movement abilities, you have to buy one of these specific combat area effect abilities to unlock Devastators. But since we have Devastators now, we might as well buy Critical Mass, which allows us to use Devastators by overloading our health bar. And for the hell of it, Adrenaline Surge, so that we can also use Devastators when we are at extremely low health. And information on how to use the thing. Since I bought a attack power and a defensive power, it's showing me how to use both at the same time. There's my shield. There's my shield. Okay, I guess I need an enemy around to actually bring out my shield. And Hammer Fists. So Hammer Fists are typically good at destroying infrastructure, destroying vehicles. Also killing enemies. Honestly, they're just good at everything. But they're a little slower than most other attacks. Yeah, one-hit KO with a charged Hammer Fist punch. Giving me a lot of genetic material. And there's my shield. I saw it very briefly. Yeah, when I'm running, he brings out his shield. It's a terrible upgrade. It reduces some of your attack power. It will block some attacks while you have the shield active, but eventually the shield will break, and then you'll be defenseless again. The shield's not good for much of anything, in my opinion. Granted, I have a certain amount of contempt for any defensive ability. It has to be impossibly good for me to care about it. Or completely passive.
I have a situation. We got it.
Now I'm doing embarrassingly bad killing these things before they hatch. So I have a bunch of hunters getting hatched around me. No big deal. Let's try a Devastator. No, Devastator's much too slow. Devastators have very limited usage because if you use them when you are in like a timed event of any sort, be it a timed mission or a timed side quest, it does not stop the timer, but it does slow down everything around you and put you in a lengthy animation. So often you don't want to be stuck bothering with any sort of Devastators. We're done collecting stuff out of the water towers. Now we break another hive. Rather, we don't break it. We just collect the sludge off the ground, which, thankfully, appears as just friendly orbs that are not disgusting. Unlike most other genetic secretions. They'll just bounce out every so often. This is a time where it's good to have the shield, because we are under attack at all times. But our attackers are being distracted by one another. We can steal the tank. I don't know if I've demonstrated tank theft previously, but again, numerous lengthy animations anytime you want to do that. Then we can blow up some of these blisters ourselves. It gives us a warning as the hive gets closer to destruction. I believe we fail the mission if the hive actually gets destroyed. And I don't think attacking it like that actually... Hey, my couch! I finally destroyed it once and for all. I don't think actually attacking the hive causes it to drop any more of the things we need. I'm pretty sure that was entirely just a bad idea, attacking the hive directly. But it seems so logical. Fairly certain it was the first thing I did when I played this mission for the first time. Now, in hive-infected areas, we will be very likely to see zombies roaming the streets. Zombies are essentially just citizens, but aggressive. But their aggression is essentially harmless. Uh-oh. The army is winning. That's not a good thing.
HQ, this is Echo 1 Alpha. Strike package on my position. Ricky King. Red Crown, Echo 1.
Stop winning. They blew up the hive. No. I finished my genetic collection. That's the good outcome. 200 killed civilians. We're hitting new high scores. $364 million in damage. And mission complete. Now the hive can go down, for all I care. If we have a head start on killing the hive, we might as well. It's worth some EP. Now the hive recovered 100% of its health. There we go. Here's where they teach us all about the turf wars.
Positive ID, we are ready for a strike. So withdraw on your... HQ, we got the hot target here.
The important thing we learned there, in all those tooltips that I ignored,
We have a package request. Pass uphill and confirm.
was that
Strike package authorized.
there are army bases
Juliet Delta.
Thunder 4-5, just in the blue zone.
with plus signs on their symbols. That indicates that if we enter those bases and eat specific individuals therein, we will learn new abilities. Just permanent upgrades, and that's the only way to get those upgrades. They're the sorts of upgrades that I thought we were supposed to get during the mission I did at the end of the last playthrough of this. So that reduced the zombie threat in the area. And it did not explicitly give us EP. Like I expected. The way killing this strike team will. See? 5,500 EP right there. But eventually that area should turn less red. Until tomorrow, when the infection spreads to this area once again.
Eyes peeled, everyone. Target has evaded capture.
It's kind of a pointless minigame for now.
Target is done. Guard command, over.
We did unlock 22 new upgrades by completing that mission. It's a bit of a big one. And okay, we can get more critical mass, regen boost for when we are not taking damage. Movement is the most important, as always. Jump upgrades. Double dash. Super double dash. Beautiful. Cost of upgrades is going to inflate to the point of absurdity. But things like this are always very important. New powers. Muscle mass, I do throw things a lot. I'm in a constant state of tantrum, so that actually would be pretty useful for me. But I just learned hammer power and whip fist at the same time. Better not to inundate myself with options. Otherwise I'll just forget that I have certain things. Movement is most important. Hunter Dirt Nap is incredibly expensive, so much so that I cannot afford it, even though I have done a great deal of landmark collection, hint collection, and web of intrigue target hunting off screen. So I have way more EP than I should, still nowhere near enough. And these are all the permanent upgrades we can get by eating military personnel. Get this, and it will unlock an additional Devastator, as well as attacks that we can do by falling preposterous distances. Let's take another Devastator. This one is Square and Triangle. Also, I can just do these attacks that I purchased whenever I want. The non-Devastator version of my Devastators. I can't resist the allure of the Street Sweeper. For some reason, if you hold up on the D-pad, that gives you this agonized transformation sequence for each of our upgrades. Take that, random civilian. Now we can be even more like our hero, Jackie Estacado.
Busting this into the field. You got some?
Now, as much as I enjoy Paul Jenkins' work, and constantly reference it, and have played basically his entire body of work in the gaming field, and even read a lot of his comics. That guy works on NFTs, so fuck him. Not gonna be a hypocrite there. He's also making a documentary about toxic fandoms and the pipeline they serve into far-right circles, but that one has been in development for a ridiculously long time and will probably never happen. Whatever. Let's get told what to do again.
Where are they landing?
Southeast Manhattan, but the carrier, the USS Reagan, is supposed to remain off the southern coast. I wonder where those trucks are heading.
Wherever they're going, I'll bet McMullen is there. He did this to me, and I'm gonna find out why.
And then?
Then I'm gonna make sure he never does it to anyone else. Ever again.
I'm not convinced we know who McMullen is. But that was our main character coming up with his own plan and actually insisting on going through with it. That's the sort of thing that gives you the illusion of agency in your story. So I'm going to assume it was the other guy who co-wrote this game, not Paul Jenkins, who has at this point taken over. Ever so briefly. That's right. We're going into a military base, so we need a military face. The detectors, of course, laughably useless. These guys watching us getting detected right in front of them. But as long as we just walk by, It's like we belong here. They simply stop caring as soon as it stops beeping. No mention of like, hey, that guy was there for the entire time it was beeping. And it stopped the moment he left its radius. Better not investigate further. This is their big fortress that they're so proud of. They locked down a gigantic portion of New York City. Must be costing the city billions to have this base here. And there we go. Stepped just outside of the range, just before it hit yellow by tackling 2 or 3 other soldiers. Hey, I almost thought I got him in stealth. We're not going to get this guy in stealth. There's too many soldiers here. And I killed that guy, but this guy happens to know exactly the same thing. Lucky for us. He's a web of intrigue target too. Flashing lights incoming.
We know Zeus has been spotted multiple times in this area, and we're breaking out some new tech to pin him down.
This unmanned aerial vehicle can detect the virus at less than 10 parts per million in open air. With it, we should be able to box Zeus in and destroy it.
Fuck, I gotta take them out before they find Dana.
That's not what the web of intrigue target just said there, Alex. It said they're going to find us more efficiently with robots that can detect where we are. We've seen the sort of good use they make whenever they find where we are via robots. Yep, there they are.
Where I am and where I've been. They'll pick out Dana's safe house, and I can't let that happen.
Okay. They can tell where we have been, and thus they'll know the secret Dana location, I guess. Bit of a stretch because we've been literally everywhere in the city. I mean, I've been getting the web of intrigue targets, which has put me in every square inch of this godforsaken place. They keep you in a relatively small part of the city. Really just the city proper. So the exploration aspect is not that bad. The RNG aspect of looking for web targets, that gets pretty bad. Take another one of these. There we go. Just casually wipe out a strike team on our way to the next patrol. Soundtrack here is pretty intense. Oh, I always hate those little like overhang things with girders on the side. They're all over the place in New York City. They really lock you in with your fellow pedestrians. I tend to walk pretty fast, so always makes me slow down. Pretty sure we don't have to kill the UAVs, but it is recommended, advisable even. Let's be a soldier for now. Approach the next patrol undetected. Sneak in there and wipe them out. Now, right now I'm playing the Biohazard bundle of this game on the PS4. Kinda hilarious that I never realized this game had so many similarities to Resident Evil. And the fact that they called the Biohazard bundle is like they're admitting, yes, this is Resident Evil. But of course, we are the monster. Genetically mutated by viruses. Killing all the military personnel.
Alpha Juliet has left comm. Stay on high alert and engage target on sight.
We don't care in the least about personnel. They're always watching us escape the scene. Whatever. What are they gonna do about it? They can't fly like I can. Right about here is our next target. Like, the UAVs are so useless. We need to destroy these things anyway. So obviously, yeah, the guy with the hammer fists punching your tanks. That's probably Alex Mercer. This is no longer a stealth mission.
Strong signal on 3. Triangulate with the others and redirect.
That close to Dana very rapidly this time. I forgot that I have 2 dashes. I believe technically the fastest way to move around is to dash once, glide for a little bit, and then when you start to lose your glide height, dash again. Now, I did attempt to use the whip, our new attack, on these tanks. It did virtually nothing. You can disable them by hijacking the tank. But that actually takes much longer than blowing it up. I'm disinclined to bother with such matters. That was not the end of the mission. That was a checkpoint.
That's it, we're calling it. Detection patrols RTB. Palace has a new deployment ASAP.
But they are sending in multiple patrols at the same time. As they probably should have done from the start. As I assume they technically did from the start, we just only detected one patrol at a time. I wish we had these mini-map detection powers at all times. Not just during specific missions. Oh, I should have bought the muscle mass upgrade. So now I gotta hand deliver my minivans to helicopters. The Alex Mercer Genetics and Minivan Delivery Service. Why am I still doing jump attacks on this thing? That is wasting far too much time. If I'm not mistaken, I believe at this point the patrols do include the UAVs. So those do have to go. Starting now, but not previously. That's our new ground shatter, I think? Let's see. I think our area of effect attacks only work if we are not wielding a weapon. It's not giving me patrol destroyed until I kill the UAV. Even though the UAV does not have a Punisher skull. It will grow a Punisher skull if we leave the area without having killed it. Despite the fact that they are effectively tracking our trail, it somehow leads exclusively to Dana's hideout. In a direct line such that every single tank knows to go exactly there. Would have made more sense if the guy whose DNA we ate said, I have the exact location of Mercer's sister. But that's exactly the same trick they pulled with Karen Parker, so it does get a little repetitive at that point. But hey, it's all over already. That one is a bit of a spike in difficulty. Certainly a lot harder than anything we've done previously. But we almost cost the military $1 billion. And they're only going to send more and more tanks at us per mission going forward.
Everything was getting worse. There were outbreaks across the city. There were hunters now, thanks to Green. Blackwatch quarantined the island. It became clear to me that McMullen, Gentek's director of research, had linked us all together. He worked for Blackwatch. He had studied Green. Karen and I had worked for him, you know, before. He knew who I was, and maybe what had happened to me. I thought, when I find McMullen, I find myself.
Well, what did he tell you?
McMullen? Lots of things. Some of them even true.
And then?
Then? Well, then he died.
Those cutscenes are also decent for giving the character an appearance of agency, although Jackie Estacado had exactly the same little flashback sequences in the darkness. It's a good trick, I guess. Why not reuse it? So, I have already, as noted, collected a bunch of Web of Entry targets, and we'll check them out. Not gonna let those go to waste after how much effort I put into grinding them out. Let's first look at where they came from. So, in Sequence 3, which is where all the targets I've collected so far came from, they can appear anywhere from about here, roughly where this foot icon is, down this street, till maybe about here. You might recognize this as the exact same area where every single Sequence 1 target was also located. So if I had done this on video, we would literally have been running up and down this street over and over and over again, just like I did back in the first section of the game. They switch it up very slightly because there are 20 targets instead of 8 this time, by having them spill over into the Upper West Side here. And then there's a few right in this area, just I think 3 more targets right in this area. And then for some reason, there's more right around where this hive is. Like Upper East Side down to where the hive is. He's like 8 or so blocks here. And then, all the way down here are several more targets. And you have to kill some of them in order to unlock some of the ones that are over on this street. So you constantly have to go back over here, find some guys, kill them, hope the RNG actually spawns the ones that are currently unlocked, then run back up and down the street, then check this corner for a while, see if the RNG has spawned any of the guys over here. Then go back to the same area you've been hunting for the last, basically the entire game. It's a badly implemented system. I've heard the sequel improves it. But that is why we are not watching it on video anymore. Let's see, we've got a military consume event, killing spree. You could go hunt targets in the military base. This is a new one, an infected consume event. It's nearby. Let's take a look at what that's all about real quick. most of the events have a time limit of about 2 minutes on them. So we're never really going to waste too much time checking out an event for a little bit of flavor. And then we'll check out the 10 Web of Intrigue targets that I already ate. Kind of surprised we didn't spot any more while wandering around this time. But alas, there were some left over in Sequence 3. Destroy the Marked Hive. Should be nice and easy. Now our attacks are basically useless against the Hive. Except for muscle mass. So in consideration of that fact, that is, not muscle mass. That is Sequence 4, though. One of the guys we ate was Sequence 4, thereby unlocking the entirety of that new sequence. We'll try out muscle mass. Because the main thing we're going to be doing is throwing shit at a Hive. Just head right over that military base. Nothing to worry about. Unidentified flying dude. Probably no big deal. There are definitely subtle shifts in color palette anytime we go into an infected area. That's a neat touch. Okay. Destroy the Hive. The hunters don't really matter. Gonna want to ignore them as much as possible. We can steal military weapons and vehicles and Devastators. Devastators are overrated. They're not actually very effective at killing Hives. This guy's probably not doing a great job either. And his rifle probably wouldn't help as much, for that matter.
Sir, the Wiseman team is present and ready for the hunt.
Good. Send in the captain.
Sir, is it true he caught the last runner on his own?
Not caught. Killed.
Huh. See, I thought it was only us and Elizabeth Green that were runners, but apparently they keep going for this terrible idea. It keeps creating supervillains, and this guy managed to kill one of them. Or he thinks he killed Elizabeth Green. Who knows? Throwing vehicles actually does quite a bit of damage. Not at you, though. I don't care about you. Maybe I will care about him soon. Because he's fully edible. Don't care about a strike team. The tank is technically helping us. It's a UAV, but I'm going to call them tanks anyway. Even though there are also tanks, which are much larger and more dangerous. We have not gotten the 6 wanted stars to see them yet. And having a strike team here actually causes the hunters to get distracted. The strike team itself is basically harmless, which clears the runway for us to take this thing out. A million more points for us. Rock and roll, now that the job is done. For the record, on the map here, okay, yeah, that was the Upper West Side target, who strayed from the street. We have to scroll up and down for the rest of our lives. There's also a stray target that ends up here. I think I got that one. For now, though, we are ready to check out all the web targets we've collected so far. Still haven't completed Sequence 3, but there are well over 100 Web of Intrigue targets. So I can't dump them all on you. I'm probably going to have to start dumping more and more per update. But for now, Captain Emil Zerta is the first that I collected off screen. Let's see what he used to know. In what will amount to tons and tons of flashing lights and images. Apologies in advance for all of that.
This briefing is Class A1. The Federal Emergency Prosecution Act applies. This is the situation as we understand it. The virus is centering around structures in the city we've designated hives. The infected gather biological material at these strong points for unknown reasons, possibly to generate new strains of the outbreak. What we do know is this. The integrity of the building is stronger, but not immune to attack. A sustained attack of sufficient force on the hive should destroy it.
Subject escaped at 22:30 hours after murdering 3 personnel. Shortly thereafter, it is believed it kidnapped an operative. It is infected with a variant of the Blacklight virus, specifically DX1118, a substance whose effects on the human body are poorly understood at best. We have no clue what it is capable of.
Give me a report on the physical state of Codename Mother.
The subject has been incarcerated for 39 years without ill effect. Through this period, it has exhibited no degenerative effects. No joint decay, swelling, discomfort, or atrophy. Nothing. It is quite literally unaging. We have no idea how this is possible.
Colonel Taggart has issued a lockdown order on the island. This comes down from on high. The old man is here calling the shots personally. Sir! I need men with ice water in their veins. Nothing crosses the red line.
They burned the damn thing to the ground with the people in it. Fuck. And this woman comes out on fire and they just open up on her. And they're just laughing. I'm telling you, these guys are fucking Nazis, man.
The red line is drawn. Nothing gets on or off the island without permission from Blackwatch Command.
Sir.
Gentlemen, we've prepared for this moment for 40 years. We will not fail. Here's what's known. The subject could shift its body structure to an unknown degree. It can fashion portions of its body into a weapon, change its facial features, and perhaps even imitate voices and mannerisms. Long and short, it's a security nightmare.
We knew they were high up. Probably so high up that to see the office of the president, you had to look down.
And what did they have you working on?
Viruses. Odd viruses.
These viruses, would you classify them as biological weaponry?
It would be hard not to. It represents the most intriguing human carrier ever discovered to date. Its body produces hundreds of unique strains on a daily basis. Most are harmless, a few are deadly.
So what's it doing?
It's like it's evolving at a rapid pace. It's war dialing at a genetic level. It's becoming something else.
Go on.
The subject is exhibiting symptoms of primary infection. We have confirmation from sniffer stations up and down the island. The strain it is carrying is an unknown.
What kind of spread are we talking about here?
Thankfully, it seems incapable of crossing water bodies. We've sealed the island's exits. It can be fought here.
Quite a few of those entries were saying basically the same thing. The red line has been drawn around the city, and no one is leaving. That's no joke. They put gun emplacements around all the bridges, and they shoot anyone who tries to leave. They are, as noted, fucking Nazis, man. Hey, my couch is back. I'll save you, couch. Because if you go too far down that bridge, you explode.
Do we have a visual from the air? We're cold on the ground here. Over.
We are all caught up on Web of Intrigue. Sort of. I didn't even finish Sequence 3. And that's how long it took just to watch the cutscenes. Future sequences are even longer. Although this one is slightly shorter. So, we'll have to find some way to make this tolerable, but we are learning lots of important information that the game does not otherwise convey. I'm happy to check it out. It's an interesting method of storytelling. Fairly effective, I think. So far, a little repetitive, because a lot of what they're saying, they expect you to be able to miss parts of it and still be able to keep up basically 100%, but that will change. There will cease to be redundant Web of Intrigues in the near future. For now, though, this is Prototype. A brand new day of horrors coming our way. See you next time for even more.